Hi everyone, it's Adrianna from Enterprise Legal. Today I thought I'd speak to you all a little bit about what some potential settlement day hiccups could be and what that might mean for you. So one of the reasons why settlement could be extended is due to a party just physically not being ready to settle. Now this could be the other side's bank is unable to settle, or there's a refinance in place that might not be happening on that day. And these are things that could be completely out of your control. It does come to the point where it is well, what do you do in those situations? And unfortunately that is when settlements do need to get extended. Now depending on the circumstances, the contract, things like that, you might have an opportunity to put some sort of penalty in place for the other party not being able to settle on that day. Another reason why we're seeing settlements get extended is due to vacant possession not being provided at settlement. So this is in the case where vacant possession is to be provided under the contract, and there might be a tenant in place that has been given their notice to leave and they're just not able to. And of course in the Toowoomba region at the moment, with the current sort of lack of availability for rentals, we're seeing that tenants literally just have nowhere to go to. They cannot find another tenancy to move into or somewhere to find sort of living arrangements, I guess, for them. So what we're seeing is a lot of sellers are requesting extensions for settlement so that their tenants are able to move out, the properties being able to be cleaned, and then at the time of settlement the buyers are able to get the keys and move in. Again, in these situations it is something that is out of your control as a buyer, and the most important thing is that that does happen, the property is cleaned and that is ready for you on settlement day with no hiccups. So we are seeing a lot of those extension requests come through for that reason as well. As we've discussed in the past with you in relation to our changes to the REIQ contract, in January there were some changes which allows either party to have a right to extend settlement up to 5 business days. With this right, they have no obligation to give a reason for any sort on why it's getting extended, and there's no penalty that will apply to them if they do give that notice to you. It's really important to remember that that notice can be given at any point up until 4 p.m. on the day of settlement. So we might get to 3:50 and the other party might give us a notice that they're not ready to settle, and they might be able to extend that up to however many days, up to 5 business days. So when you put that into perspective, that is a whole week. So business days, meaning a whole week, 7 days in total that they're able to extend that up to. And unfortunately, again, you don't have an opportunity to object to that, and it is what it is. Because of the reasons I've just discussed, there's a few key tips that we want you to keep in mind when you're making settlement arrangements around that settlement time. The first thing to consider is that settlement date under the contract does not necessarily mean that that is when settlement is going to be. It's not a hard and fast anymore. Due to especially that extension right that is now in those contracts as of January, settlement can get extended. So we don't want you to get disheartened come the day of settlement if the other party does need to extend. So just keep that in mind. Secondly, for buyers, keep in mind removalists and removalist costs. So again, come the day of settlement, you've packed everything in the truck, come 3 o'clock, the sellers have extended, you're going to need to reschedule that removalist or have that furniture stored somewhere else overnight, depends on your arrangements, but keep that in mind that that might be an extra cost as well should settlement get extended, and that is something that you wouldn't be able to pass on to the seller in most circumstances, but again, like I've said, it could depend on your particular situation, but just something to keep in mind. And lastly, another one is tradies. So we find a lot of buyers before moving into the property want to get some works done, whether that's fixing up something in the bathroom, laying some floor tiles down, things like that. The thing to keep in mind again is if settlement doesn't occur, you don't automatically get the keys and you're not able to just have your tradie come in the next day and fix those things up. You don't have possession of the property yet. So it is really important that you might want to delay having those tradies come in, at least keep a buffer of a week or something along those lines, just in case settlement does get extended. I hope this video today has just shown a little bit of insight on what could potentially happen with your settlement under your purchase or sale contract. But if you have any other questions about settlement day antics, potential hiccups, anything like that, or just a question about conveyancing at all, please feel free to contact me on the details below and we can have a bit more of a further chat.